46,000 miles on this all-original 1984 Mustang, and this is a really special model. Let's get started. So like I just said, this is the 1984 Ford Mustang GT350, of only which 5,261 were made. It's in very good shape, only 46,000 miles, and it's Euro-Asian Bob's. There's a link in the description if you want to go watch his presentation on this car, and he can answer any questions you have if you want to contact him. But it is another one of those Euro-Asian Bob strikes again. I still don't know how he finds these cars. This one's in very good shape, but it does have some issues. That's why it's here. It wouldn't be here if it didn't have a few issues. So let's take a look around this thing. It is so cool. So here's a really cool front of this third gen Mustang. This is a fox body, but it's not the fox body we think of. This is the beginning of the fox bodies. This one has the 5-liter 302 V8. Which is kind of in the early years where your car could be rated by liters. It could also be rated by cubic inches, sometimes both. It was kind of hard to tell. This one has 210 horsepower, 265 pound-feet of torque. The whole car weighs 3,167 pounds. Has a top speed of 135 miles an hour. Like I just mentioned, a total of 5,261 20th anniversary GT350 hatchback and convertible models were built over a 35-day production run. So all the ones that were built of this model were done in 35 days. The GT350 here is a homage to Shelby's 1965 GT350, even though Shelby was not involved in this car at all. All of these had an Oxford white exterior and a canyon red interior, and they had the GT350 stripes along the rocker panels. When they were new in 1984, they cost $11,840, which would be about $32,500 today. This car is almost 40 years old. Before we continue this video, I'd like to thank Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. The web is not a safe place to be. Everyday scammers are trying to find new ways to make our lives more difficult. Luckily, Surfshark is here to keep us safe. It doesn't matter what device you're using, phone, tablet, computer, TV, or gaming system, they are all protected. What's great is, unlike Netflix, Surfshark lets you share your account with all your family and friends. This feature is super important to us. Now that our youngest has gone off to college, we have warned her about walking alone and to eat her vegetables, you know, normal stuff all parents worry about. But we also made sure she's safe online. Plus, she likes that she can safely access her bank account and let us know when she is low on funds. Another thing I love is the ability to turn off all those annoying ads and pop-up windows that take up more and more of the screen. Surfshark also watches for data breaches and malware attacks. It might be shocking to you, but I order a lot of parts online. Many of these parts need to come from all over the world and from lots of different suppliers. I need the assurance that the transactions are safe. The last thing I need to worry about is my card information being stolen or having to deal with a headache of fraudulent charges. As a bonus for you, Surfshark is offering an exclusive Surfshark Black Friday deal. Enter promo code CARWIZARD to get up to 6 additional free months at surfshark.deal/CarWizard, which you can click in the link below. Now, back to cars. There is our 5-liter 4-valve high output, it says on the air cleaner, which is basically just a 302. You can see here that we did do a tune-up, cap, rotor, plugs, wires. It was running a little rough. Now it runs much, much better. Of this year, you could have gotten fuel injection on some of the Mustangs, but this one is a carbureted. So not only were liters and cubic inches kind of getting tossed around in this year, fuel injection and carbureted was also kind of a toss-up. You can see it's all original in really good shape, and it has the DuraSpark ignition module on it, which has a Hall effect sensor inside the distributor, and that's how they did electronic ignition on these engines. That it is the ignition control module there. Let's go ahead and take a look in the interior.
There you go, ladies and gents, 46,944 miles. Isn't this amazing? This thing is in such amazingly great shape. Look at that gauge cluster. Everything is in perfect, pristine condition, not so much as a dust mote on that gauge cluster. This is a Garage Princess. The dash is in pristine shape. If we look there, you've got some homage to the 20th anniversary edition with lovely plaques that have been added to the area below the dash. This is era plastic, and all of this plastic is in perfect shape. I love the AM/FM push button radio here. Love that. You can push to go to different stations, and if you want to set a station, you were to pull it out and push it back in all the way, and that's how you reset that station. HVAC controls, amazingly simple, nothing complicated there. So we scroll down, yes, this is a 5-speed manual. Most of the GT350s were a 5-speed manual transmission. As we move down, there's our parking brake. The seats, here we go. Here's that lovely red fabric with the lovely red trim as well. Everything in here is pretty much red, more red, with a little bit of trim for black there on that door panel. As we look at the back seat, we look like we've gone into the operating room, and which we have because Daniel has taken apart this back section, which the wizard is going to talk about momentarily. But with the pieces and parts, we can see everything is in really good shape. Because, well, there's no base to the back seat because it's out, but the back part looks great and fabulous. It is a convertible, and so everything's looking fabulous. I don't see any light shining through that convertible top, so it's in pristine shape. I love how we have the 2-spoke steering wheel with our controls for our cruise control on those 2 simple, small, little spokes. So we're starting that era of putting controls on our steering wheel. Love the little bit bigger section right here on this very large steering wheel, which tells you, grab me here. Otherwise, this is in great shape. Let's get this on the lift and see what's going on underneath.
So let's check out underneath this vehicle. We're going to find old technology, the old ways they did things. Don't see any leaks from our radiator. Right off the bat, I can see our charcoal canister, which is usually in the rear of the vehicle on newer cars, is all the way up here, up front. But it's in good shape, it looks like. I don't see any major leaks on the engine. Let's check the wheels, brakes. Everything's looking good there. Don't see anything leaking, nothing loose. Oops, I found a little bit of seepage going on here, but I don't think that's going to be enough to really warrant tearing anything down. And it could be actually from this. This little oil drain plug might have a tiny drip which is blowing over onto here. But I don't see anything serious going on there that's worthy of hundreds or thousands of dollars. Here's our transmission, nothing going on there, it's leak-free. We can see it has had a new catalytic converter welded in, so that won't have to be messed with. New exhaust pipe here. The joints look good. We'll check the back end. Looks like it's had a new brake hose put on. Nothing's leaking at the brakes back here. Shock's good. Everything seems to be in pretty good shape back here. Well, before we put this thing down, let's check the date code on the tires. Well, they do have a date code, 46th week of 2019. They've got good tread on them, so they are still good tires. Let's get this thing on the ground. So obviously it's here for a reason, although it's in very good shape with very low miles. Any car you could ever buy in the world is advertised with really low miles. It's probably going to have a couple of issues, and this one was no exception. We'll get it taken care of and it'll be ready for sale. But let me go ahead and take you guys over to one of our carts, and I'll show you why the whole interior in the back is all torn apart. Oh, there's the back seat. I was actually wondering what Danielson did with it. Here it is on the cart. Very, very nice fabric. It's like brand new. But the reason why the whole back end is all torn apart in the interior is because when you roll down the windows, the rear quarter windows are supposed to also go down, and they're not. It's kind of hard to operate the convertible top when the quarter windows don't move out of the way. There was hope that maybe a rebuild kit or something quick and easy would be able to fix it, but the motors themselves are bad, which is this here. I'm actually going to take it apart and we'll see what's broken inside. So as you can see, we did attempt to rebuild the broken internals inside of here. 9 times out of 10, you can get away with just fixing the plastic chewed up pieces. But even with that, it didn't work because the actual motor just won't turn. It's seized up. Something's wrong with these motors, so it's just as cheap and easy just to buy the entire thing and replace it and put it back together. It's faster and more efficient. So now you know why the interior is all torn apart in the back, to get to those motors, replace them, and then all that will be operational again. We'll all be back in business as far as convertible top and windows and things. It's kind of difficult in this situation because we normally think of a power window motor. You just open the door, take the door panel off, and it's pretty easy to get to. But the back seats, there's no doors back there. As you saw, it's a coupe, so there's only 2 doors. And you're surrounded by plastic surround and rear seats and everything, and all that stuff has to come out to even get to the motors. So unfortunately, kind of a bummer that way, but it's not too hard. Just had to be careful not to hurt anything in the plastics, and we are. We always remember the cars of the past of being so fast and so powerful. Some of my mentors I used to work for were older guys in their late 60s, early 70s, even my own dad or uncles or people in the family. They talk about, oh, this Roadrunner I had, or this Impala, or this, it was so fast. Man, it was so fast. There's nothing on the road. It was faster than that car. What's amazing is a Camry today can outrun most of those old cars. Even a 2023 Camry with a 4-cylinder has 203 horsepower, just with a 4-cylinder. Then you can step it on up to the V6. You can really get some power. They're fast. It really is amazing the power they're getting out of smaller engines today, and yet maintaining fuel efficiency and everything. So if you just want to cruise to grandma's and save some fuel, they can do that. Or if you want to put the pedal to the floor and really walk other cars, you can do that too. It's really cool. Back in '84, this was a fast car. This is like one of the top of the line. This is really fast. It's like, whoa, bro, that thing moves. But now we move forward to 2024, which is the newer models coming out. A 2024 Mustang with the EcoBoost 4-cylinder has 310 horsepower. A lot more power than this thing. And if you want to go to the top of the line today, a 2024 Mustang Dark Horse Premium with a 5-liter V8, which is similar liter to this one, has 500 horsepower and 418 pound-feet of torque. It would literally run circles around this thing all day long. But you can't really blame the automakers. You can't say, well, why did they build such slow vehicles? At the time, they were struggling trying to figure out how they're going to make cars and also meet emissions. The government emissions that came in the mid to late 70s, they really started to crush on performance. We're able to meet emissions today and still be powerful, but it took all that time to get to that point. So I really don't fault them. They were doing the best they could for what was expected and actually demanded by the government on the vehicles back in those days. All in all, it's still an amazing vehicle. It's very rare and is in very, very good shape. We'll take care of the few issues we found here. Again, check out Euro-Asian Bob's video on this in the link in the description below. It is definitely a cool car. Also, make sure to check out Mrs. Wizard's Ways. She's got videos out there that you want to go check out. And also hit the subscribe button here because we have lots of cool cars in the shop. Thanks for watching.